Did you know that 40% of success comes from grit? That's right, not talent, not luck, but sheer mental toughness. Hey there, future grit masters. Today, we're diving into 4 powerful exercises that'll transform you into a mental warrior. Ready to crush your goals and become unstoppable? Let's go. First up, we've got the hard thing rule. Here's how it works. Choose one challenging task that requires daily practice. It could be learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or even perfecting your public speaking skills. The key? Stick with it for at least 1 season or semester before you're allowed to quit. This exercise builds your ability to persevere through difficulties and teaches you the value of long-term commitment. Imagine you're learning to play the guitar. Those first few weeks, your fingers hurt, and the chords sound like a cat scratching a chalkboard. But you keep at it, day after day. Suddenly, you're strumming your favorite song, and it actually sounds good. That's the hard thing rule in action, building your grit muscle 1 practice session at a time. Next, let's talk about the failure resume. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But hear me out. Instead of hiding from your failures, create a document where you list them all out. Include rejections, setbacks, and mistakes. Now, here's the crucial part. Next to each failure, write what you learned from it. This exercise reframes failure as a stepping stone to success, not a dead end. Think about Thomas Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset we're aiming for. By embracing your failures, you're building resilience and turning every setback into a valuable lesson. Our third grit-building exercise is the 5-minute rule. When you're faced with a task you're dreading or feel like procrastinating, commit to working on it for just 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes. Here's the psychology behind it. Often, starting is the hardest part. But once you begin, you'll likely find yourself wanting to continue. Let's say you've been putting off that big work presentation. Instead of thinking about the hours it'll take to complete, just commit to working on it for 5 minutes. Before you know it, you're in the flow, ideas are flowing, and you've crushed an hour of productive work. The 5-minute rule helps you overcome inertia and builds the habit of taking action, even when you don't feel like it. Lastly, we have the Growth Mindset Journal. Every day, write down one challenge you faced and how you grew from it. This exercise trains your brain to see difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. It's about shifting from "I can't do this" to "I can't do this yet." Consider a time when you faced a tough problem at work. Instead of getting frustrated, you approached it as a puzzle to solve. You researched, asked for help, and eventually found a solution. By journaling about this experience, you reinforce the belief that you can overcome challenges and grow from them. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but how do I find the time? Here's the thing. Building grit isn't about massive time commitments. It's about consistent, small actions. Start with just one of these exercises. Maybe it's the 5-minute rule or the Growth Mindset Journal. Pick one and commit to it for a week. Remember, as Angela Duckworth, the pioneering researcher on grit, says, "Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint." It's about showing up day after day, even when things get tough. So, here's your challenge. Choose one of these exercises and start today. Right now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it'll never come. Whether it's picking your hard thing, starting your failure resume, setting a 5-minute timer, or writing your first growth journal entry, take that first step. Building grit isn't just about achieving your goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can weather any storm, bounce back from any setback, and keep moving forward no matter what. It's about unlocking your full potential and living a life of purpose and achievement. So, future Grit Master, which exercise will you start with? How will you begin your journey to unshakable mental toughness? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Let's build that grit and create the life you've always dreamed of. You've got this.